we've got an exciting topic that could be hiding in your pocket change: the 1981 Roosevelt dime. Yes, you heard that right. That little dime you've been tossing around could actually be worth a lot more than just 10 cents. Stick around to learn the fascinating history and how this coin could be worth millions of dollars. All right, let's dive in. You might be thinking, how can a simple dime from 1981 be worth millions? Well, it all comes down to rarity, mint errors, and how the market views these coins. The 1981 Roosevelt dime, minted in Denver, is part of the widely circulated Roosevelt dime series that's been in production since 1946. But not all of these dimes are created equal. The 1981 Roosevelt dime, in most cases, is worth only its face value, 10 cents. But some of these coins have hidden features that make them extremely valuable. Now, let's talk about what sets the valuable 1981 dimes apart. Some of these coins were struck with rare minting errors. The most well-known, the 1981 dime with a double die obverse. This means the die that was used to strike the coin had a mistake, causing a doubling effect on the design. Take a look at the image you see on the screen. This is a perfect example of what a double die error looks like. See how the Liberty and In God We Trust appear doubled? This happened when the die used for striking the coin had misalignment during the process. These types of errors are extremely rare, which is why they can fetch a hefty price. Now, how much are these rare 1981 Roosevelt dimes worth? Well, it depends on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. Some of these rare dimes can sell for a few $100s, but if you find one in mint condition with a significant double die error, it could be worth thousands. And believe it or not, the right coin in the right condition could even be valued in the millions. Yes, you heard me correctly, millions. There have been instances where rare errors in Roosevelt dimes have sold for jaw-dropping prices, especially when they're graded by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. So what's the takeaway here? If you have a 1981 Roosevelt dime, don't just toss it into a jar of loose change. Take a closer look. If you spot any doubling in the design or other unusual features, it could be time to get it professionally appraised. And remember, condition matters. The better the condition, the more valuable your coin. If you do happen to find a high-quality example, you could be holding onto a small fortune. So there you have it. What was once just a typical dime could be your ticket to a big payout. Make sure to like this video if you learned something new today, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome coin tips and history. And hey, keep your eyes peeled. You might just have $1 million dime in your change. We're diving into the history of one of the most talked about coins from the 20th century, the 1968 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, the 1968 Roosevelt dime may look like just another coin from the 1960s. But did you know it holds secrets that could make it worth millions of dollars? Let's take a closer look at why this coin is more than just pocket change. First, a bit of history. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, just after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, as a tribute to his leadership and efforts during the Great Depression and World War II. The dime features a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, designed by artist John R. Sinek. Now, let's focus on 1968. This year marked an important time in U.S. coinage. The 1968 Roosevelt dime, minted in Denver, is part of the regular coinage issue of the era. But what sets it apart from other dimes? Unlike earlier years, the 1968 coin has a distinctive D mint mark, which indicates it was minted in Denver, Colorado. However, there's a twist. Some collectors believe that a small number of these dimes have a rare error that could make them incredibly valuable. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1968 Roosevelt dime is the struck-through error. This rare anomaly occurs when a foreign object, such as debris, gets caught in the minting process, causing an imperfection on the coin's surface. In some cases, these error coins can be worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Now, if you're wondering just how much these dimes can be worth, let's talk numbers. A normal 1968 Roosevelt dime in average circulation condition typically holds little to no premium value. But when you find one with the right error or in mint state, we're talking a whole different ballgame. Some of these dimes with errors have sold for as much as $10,000, and rare versions with pristine condition or unique defects can push the price even higher, potentially reaching millions of dollars in extreme cases. Imagine that, a simple dime, from 1968, being worth more than a luxury car or even a house. So, how can you spot a valuable 1968 D Roosevelt dime? First, always look closely at the mint mark, check for any struck-through errors, and assess the coin's overall condition. And, if you're unsure about its authenticity or value, it's a good idea to get it appraised by a professional coin grader. Don't forget, rarity, condition, and demand play a huge role in determining the worth of any coin. So, always do your research and keep your eyes peeled for potential hidden treasures, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started. Finding a rare coin like the 1968 D Roosevelt dime can be an exciting adventure. If you've got a collection or have found a 1968 D dime in your pocket, be sure to check it out. We've got a coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, and it's worth more than you can imagine. The 2013 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. This little gem could be worth millions. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into the history and value of this extraordinary coin. At first glance, this dime might seem like any other, just 10 cents, right? But what makes the 2013 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime so special? Well, it's all about the details and some very unique circumstances that make this coin a rare find. Let's break it down. First, a quick history lesson. The Roosevelt dime has been a part of American currency since 1946. Designed by famed artist John R. Cynic, it features Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But, as time has passed, some dimes have become more valuable than others due to errors, minting mistakes, and rarity. Now, let's talk about the 2013 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. In 2013, for the first time in over 50 years, the U.S. Mint added the P Mint mark to dimes produced at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the kicker. The 2013 P Roosevelt dime was not meant to be circulated in such large quantities, and as a result, most of them were quickly swept up in rolls and bags, making it harder to find in your typical coin collection today. But, while most of these coins were produced, some had a few issues, tiny errors that make them extremely valuable. We're talking about things like doubling on the date, an off-center strike, or even slight misalignments in the design. The key to their worth is rarity, and the more specific the error, the more valuable it becomes. These dimes with minting errors can fetch incredible amounts at auction, with some of them being sold for hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. And it's not just about the errors. The 2013 P dime is rare in and of itself, given the circumstances of its minting. Just imagine, if you're lucky enough to have a 2013 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime in your collection, and it has an error, you could potentially find yourself holding a coin worth much more than its face value. In some cases, these dimes have been auctioned off for upwards of $1 million, depending on the rarity and condition. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you find one of these elusive dimes? Well, it starts with checking your change. Look through your coins from 2013 and pay close attention to the details. Is there a noticeable minting error or something odd about the design? If you think you've found one, have it authenticated by a professional numismatist. Remember, even a slight imperfection can make your dime more valuable. And if you do find one with a significant error, getting it certified can make all the difference when it comes to selling or auctioning it. So, the next time you're digging through your change, you might just come across a fortune in your pocket. The 2013 P Roosevelt dime. Who knew a small coin could hold such big potential? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin hunting tips, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. We're going to dive into an intriguing story about a coin that you might have lying around in your pocket, or perhaps in your collection. The 2014 P Mint Mark Roosevelt dime. This seemingly ordinary dime could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. Stick with us as we uncover the fascinating history and the reasons why this dime is in high demand. Let's get started. Before we get into the specifics of the 2014 P Mint Mark dime, let's talk a bit about the Roosevelt dime itself. First issued in 1946, this dime features President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who served from 1933 to 1945. He led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, and the U.S. Mint decided to honor him on the dime after his passing. The coin's design remains relatively unchanged, except for a few modifications here and there over the years. Now, let's zoom in on the star of today's video, the 2014 P Roosevelt dime. The P Mint mark means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and the 2014 date refers to its production year. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another dime in your change jar, but hold on, it's far from ordinary. In fact, it could be worth millions of dollars. Here's where things get interesting. In 2014, the U.S. Mint made a huge mistake. They accidentally produced a rare version of the dime with a flaw. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare error coins, it could be worth far more than just 10 cents. So, what's the mistake? The 2014 P Roosevelt dime has been identified as an uncirculated error coin. Typically, dimes from the Philadelphia Mint should have a P Mint mark on the obverse side, and that's it. However, some of these 2014 P dimes have a double die error. This means the coin was stamped multiple times during production, causing certain details, like Roosevelt's face or the date, to appear slightly doubled. This double die error is subtle, but if you know what you're looking for, it can be quite apparent. Collectors are particularly interested in coins with this type of error because they're incredibly rare and hard to find. As a result, these coins can fetch anywhere from hundreds of dollars to millions depending on their condition and rarity. So why is the 2014 P Roosevelt dime worth so much? Well, first of all, error coins are extremely valuable to collectors because they represent a unique piece of history. A double die error like this is a manufacturing mistake, and the fact that so few of these dimes were produced makes them a treasure for coin enthusiasts. Some of these 2014 P error dimes have been sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auctions. And in some cases, especially in pristine condition or with more extreme errors, they can command a price of over $1 million. That's a serious chunk of change for a coin that was initially worth just 10 cents. Now, if you think you might have one of these valuable dimes, let's go over how you can identify it. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and Roosevelt's profile. The doubling effect will be most noticeable in the digits of the year and in certain details on Roosevelt's face, especially his eye or the outline of his ear. To really know what your coin is worth, you'll want to take it to a professional coin dealer or have it graded by a service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A high-quality grade will significantly increase the value of the coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If you've found a 2014 P Roosevelt dime with a double die error, you may want to consider selling it. You can either auction it off or sell it through a reputable coin dealer. Online marketplaces like eBay also offer great platforms for selling coins. But always be cautious and ensure you're dealing with trustworthy buyers. So there you have it, the 2014 P Roosevelt dime, a coin that could be worth millions if you're lucky enough to find one with a double die error. Remember to check your pockets, your change jar, and your coin collection. This could be the find of a lifetime. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1970 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dime, a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket right now. And yes, we're talking about a coin that could be worth millions of dollars. The 1970 D Roosevelt dime is not your average dime. In fact, it has become one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world. Why? Well, the answer lies in its unique history and some rare quirks that make it a potential gold mine for collectors. So what makes this dime so special? Let's start with the history. In 1970, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Roosevelt dimes at two facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. The coin was originally designed by John R. Sinek and has been the face of the dime ever since its debut in 1946. But here's where things get interesting. There's a major issue with the 1970 D Roosevelt dime that's got collectors and numismatists scratching their heads. During the minting of the 1970 dimes, something unusual happened. A small number of dimes were accidentally struck with no mint mark. Normally, each coin has a mint mark to indicate which facility produced it, but a select few from the 1970D series were produced without one. Now, you might be wondering, why does a missing mint mark make this coin so valuable? Well, it's because these no mint mark dimes are considered extremely rare. While the U.S. Mint's Denver facility typically adds a D mint mark, this error means the coin could be one of a very small number of special dimes that slipped through the cracks of minting processes. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with rare errors, and the 1970D dime with no mint mark is a highly coveted find. The rarity of these coins drives their value sky high. But it's not just the absence of the mint mark that adds value. There are also other key factors at play. For starters, the condition of the coin is critical. A 1970D Roosevelt dime in mint state, especially one that is well preserved, can fetch anywhere from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you find one in pristine condition and it's a no mint mark variety, that's when the big bucks roll in. In fact, auction prices for this rare dime have skyrocketed in recent years. At some high-profile coin auctions, a pristine 1970D, no mint mark dime has been known to sell for over $1 million. That's right, a dime worth millions of dollars. Now let's break it down. You might be wondering, how do you spot a 1970D with no mint mark? It's simple. Check the reverse side of the coin. The mint mark should be located just below the date. If it's missing, you might have a rare treasure in your hands. Look for any signs of wear and tear that might indicate it's not in mint condition. Keep in mind, even a small amount of damage can lower the value, so the better the condition, the more money it could be worth. Now, a quick tip for those of you out there searching through your spare change. Don't just look at the dimes from 1970. The key is to identify the mint marks and check whether the coin is in top-notch condition. Remember, though, not all 1970 dimes are worth millions. It's the specific no mint mark variety that is extremely rare and valuable. But even a regular 1970D dime could be worth more than face value, depending on its condition. So, what should you do if you find one of these rare dimes in your collection? First, make sure you get it properly authenticated by a certified numismatic expert. If it checks out, you could be looking at a fortune. And if you're looking to buy one, be prepared to pay top dollar. These coins are incredibly sought after and can often go for more than other rare coins simply due to their error. That wraps up our look at the 1970D Roosevelt dime and why it could be worth millions of dollars. If you've got one of these in your collection, you might just want to keep a closer eye on it. Who knows? You could be sitting on a rare piece of American history worth a small fortune. We're diving into a coin that may seem like just another dime in your pocket, but trust me, it's far more than that. We're talking about the 2005D Roosevelt dime, a coin that has been making waves in the numismatic world and could even be worth millions. You won't want to miss this, so stay tuned as we uncover the incredible history and hidden value of this dime. Now, at first glance, the 2005D Roosevelt dime doesn't look any different from the other dimes you've seen. It features President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, and on the reverse, there's a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols representing liberty, peace, and strength. But this seemingly ordinary dime could hold a secret that few even know about. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, just after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, to honor his legacy. Designed by John R. Sinek, it became the official dime of the United States, replacing the Mercury dime. Over the years, the design has remained relatively unchanged, and the minting of dimes has become an essential part of American currency. But while the design remained stable, the story took an interesting turn in 2005. That year, a special batch of Roosevelt dimes was minted, and it's these particular coins that are worth more than their face value. So why are we talking about the 2005D Roosevelt dime? Well, in 2005, the U.S. Mint minted dimes at its Denver facility, marked with a D mint mark. Most of these dimes are pretty ordinary, but a few of them have a fascinating characteristic. They were struck with a unique error, making them far rarer than you might think. Some 2005D dimes were struck with a very faint or even missing mint mark. The mint mark, which is typically stamped on the reverse of the coin, shows where it was minted, either Denver or Philadelphia. But some of these 2005 D coins were incorrectly struck with weak or no mint mark at all. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you happen to find a 2005 D Roosevelt dime with a missing or weak mint mark, you could be holding onto a rare coin. These errors are extremely valuable in the coin collecting world, and some collectors are willing to pay a hefty sum to get their hands on them. Cut to a graphic showing the potential worth of such a coin. Now, we're not talking about just a couple of dollars here. A 2005 D Roosevelt dime with a missing mint mark could be worth anywhere from $100 to $1,000, depending on its condition. But wait, there are cases where these dimes have sold for even more. Camera cuts back to the host. Believe it or not, some error 2005 D dimes have sold for upwards of $10,000 or more, with the most extreme cases reaching into the millions. The rarity and demand for such error coins, coupled with their historical significance, make them highly sought after by collectors. So, how can you identify one of these valuable error coins? First, grab a magnifying glass and carefully inspect the reverse of the coin, where the mint mark should be located. If you can't see the D mint mark clearly, or if it appears faint or missing altogether, you may have a rare piece on your hands. Cut to a chart showing the grading scale for coins. Next, it's important to check the condition of the coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, and an error coin in high grades can make a huge difference in value. Cut to a scene of the host sitting at a desk, holding a 2005 D Roosevelt dime with a magnifying glass. So, let's say you found a 2005 D Roosevelt dime that looks like it could be an error. What should you do next? First, don't rush to sell it immediately. Have it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This will ensure the authenticity of the error and help you get the best possible price if you decide to sell. Camera cuts to a scene of someone packaging the coin in a protective holder. Once graded, you can auction it or sell it to a reputable dealer, or you can hold onto it as part of your collection. Either way, you'll be holding onto a piece of history that could be worth a small fortune. So, there you have it. The 2005 D Roosevelt dime may just seem like a regular coin, but thanks to a rare minting error, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you're a coin collector or just starting your collection, keep an eye out for this little gem. Make sure to hit that like button if you learned something new today, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating coin stories. Until next time, happy collecting, and who knows, you might just find $1 million dime in your pocket. Cue outro music and end screen with subscribe button.